Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another reading vlog, but this time we are reading the entire A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I know I'm a little late to the game on this one, but I am so excited to read these books, especially before the TV show comes out. I also want to mention that the first book in this video is going to be fully spoiler free, but the second two books are going to have spoilers in them. But I will let you guys know before I spoil absolutely anything, and I'll put the timestamp here of when I'm starting the second book, which is when the spoilers will start happening. But let's just get right into this. I am so excited, which could end up being my downfall because I have such high hopes for these books. I'm so excited to read them. But you know what? We're going to see. I barely read at all yesterday. Currently on page 38. So I really did not read a ton. And I feel like we're still kind of setting up the scene. But I really like how this book is formatted so far. It'll have a chapter of like present day, like the main character Pip and like her life kind of. And like her investigating this crime. And then the next chapter will be her notes for the capstone project. So I feel like it's a good balance. And like the present day kind of connects the notes to the capstone because obviously she's working on her capstone in the present day, but her notes for the capstone have a lot more information than we're gonna get in just like her monologue. So I really like that, which also that reminds me, I haven't told you guys what this book is about. Basically, it's about Pip who goes to the school where every year for a senior project, they do this capstone project. And I think like 4 or 5 years ago, a girl named Andy Bell was murdered, allegedly by her boyfriend, who then killed himself. And 5 years ago, Andy Bell is found murdered and her boyfriend was allegedly the killer, but they don't really know for sure also because he never really admitted it. And he was also never tried for it. And so Pip is convinced that her boyfriend, Sal, did not do it, which is why she chooses to dig into this case for her capstone project. So super interesting premise. And there's 2 more books in the series, obviously, which you guys already saw that I'm gonna be reading in this video. But if this book is for this case, I wonder if she's gonna keep doing more cases in the next 2 books because I have no idea what those books are about. But yeah, super interesting premise and I'm excited to keep reading. So hopefully I can read a ton today. I'm only on page 43, but Pip has interviewed Sal's brother Ravi twice already. And there's some juicy stuff in this last interview. Juicy as in like, not like gossipy, but like plot heavy, you know? Pip just started making a persons of interest list, which is going to be really helpful for me because honestly, anytime we're introduced to a new character, I'm like, oh, could they have done it? Like, did they do it? But knowing who she thinks is suspicious is really helpful. At least for me, because I'm suspicious of everyone right now. Now that I'm thinking more about this persons of interest list, I don't think whoever did it is going to be on this list. And this is just a theory I have. Like, I'm only on page 55, so if I'm wrong, I'm not going to tell you. But also, if I'm right, I'm not going to tell you. Like, because I don't want to spoil it, but that's my current theory right now. I'm understanding why people really love these books because they feel a little bit addicting. Like, I'm already on page 88. Plus they read super fast because they are YA. But like I said, I'm on page 88 and we're still very slowly uncovering things, but I'm liking the slow build up. We're really getting to know all the characters and all the different suspects. And like I mentioned before, I really like how this is set up because I feel like I'm not confusing any of the characters. Again, maybe that's just because it's YA. It's also not scary. Like, I'm reading this at night and I don't feel scared when sometimes murder mysteries can be a little bit scary. So I'm appreciating the fact that this is not scary. Page 111, and oh my goodness, these past couple of chapters were so intense but so good. Like, I literally was like I was like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was doing while I was reading, and they were intense, but like I mentioned earlier, intense but not scary. And I really appreciate that from this book because I love a good thriller, I love a good murder mystery, but I can't do scary at all. So I'm really appreciating that. I'm on page 175 and Pip does some things sometimes that make me just want to be like, Pip, why are you doing that? Oh my goodness. It's so good though. I'm like really into it right now. Anytime there's like an intense part in this book, I can feel it in my chest. Like, I'm so into the book that I literally feel it in my chest. I'm on page 204 right now. I definitely feel like it's getting better as the book progresses and as we're getting deeper into the mystery and like trying to figure out what happened. And I think that's partly because there's a lot of information towards the end. Like, the beginning felt a lot slower, but I feel like that was probably necessary, at least to the storyline, to kind of like set things up. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm about to start part 3, which is page 259. And I feel like every chapter has something new that we find out, but this last chapter was insane. Like, we found out a lot in the last chapter. Like, a pivotal moment is what I'm trying trying to say. And I just want to sit here and read all day. Page 296, I just audibly gasped. And now I am so sad. It's the next day because I finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder last night. I literally just sat down and binged the last like 80 or so pages. And I assumed I would probably do that at the end. Anyways, I assumed I would probably do that at the end, but I didn't know it would be this intense. Like I was literally, I couldn't put this book down to save my life. Like that's how intense it was. But the ending was definitely not what I expected. Like I was expecting more of this huge twist and that I wouldn't kind of see it coming. And I didn't really see it coming. I saw part of it coming, but I feel like I saw the part that was supposed to be obvious at the time it was supposed to be obvious. There was obviously some twists and things that I did not expect at the end of the book, which I feel like really pulled the book together. Now I don't think that this is going to be a 5-star read for me, but it is sitting at a 4 right now. So I'll let you know if that changes in my April reading wrap up. I always say that because sometimes my ratings do change, but normally once I'm at like my monthly wrap up point, they're locked in, they're not changing again normally. Definitely sitting at a 4-star right now. And since I'm about to start the second book, this is the end of the spoiler free section. So from here on out, it will be spoilers. Just want to let you know in case you don't want the spoilers, obviously. Not sure how much time I will really have to read today because it's a really busy day, but I did start this book last night. I only got to page 13, so I'm really not into it that far. But this one, she starts a true crime podcast, basically going over the Andy's case from the first book. But I'm sure we're gonna find out like what else there is to it because no way that this book is just recapping the first one. My theory right now is that she's either gonna do another case or there's gonna be something that's connected to the first case that we're gonna find out that's also like a separate case. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we'll find out obviously. I just read the first chapter and so far the book is just about her podcast and they're focusing on the trial right now, which is actually pretty interesting. Again, I have no idea if this is going to be the whole book. I feel like it won't be, but probably just a good portion of it. I don't know. I don't know why, but I'm like obsessed with the ambiance of this page. Like something about it. I love it. My theory was correct. Something does happen to one of the other characters. I'm on page 72 right now. And this guy named Jamie has disappeared. And honestly, I don't know if I'm supposed to know Jamie or remember Jamie from the other book because I don't remember him at all. Maybe it'll click here soon, but I don't remember a Jamie in the other book at all. But he might be one of those characters that we were introduced to like once in the last book, and that's why I just don't remember him. But she's now using her podcast to interview Jamie's mom and brother so that she can help spread the word about his disappearance because the police aren't doing anything to like help them because Jamie's an adult. I guess like the police say that adults can kind of do whatever they want. They can just leave and disappear, which I hope that that's not how it works in the real life because like if someone goes missing in real life and they're an adult, I feel like people should still look for them. I really like Pip as a character, which as you know, I'm such a characters person. But yeah, I'm not super into this one right now. Like the first one I was way more into than this one, which I was scared would happen, but I feel like at the beginning of books like this, you kind of have to get into it before you get into it. You guys know what I mean. I feel like it's been a while because I can't actually remember the last time I talked to you guys. And we've just been introduced to Stella, who finds out that someone was using her pictures to catfish Jamie, but like editing her hair so her hair looked a little different, like it was a different color. But it took us like 2 pages for Pip to be like, oh, like someone was catfishing him, like someone used your pictures from Instagram. When it's like as soon as Stella said that, Jamie kept saying, oh, like, hey, Lila, like, hey, Lila, you changed your hair, whatever, what are you doing here, Lila? It was so obvious to me as soon as he said that someone was catfishing him using her pictures. Anyways, other than that it was like, that was so obvious. Pip, why did it take you a couple pages to realize? I'm really liking it. I'm on page 168 and Pip is basically comparing Ravi and Connor, which made me realize that Ravi isn't Pip's like sidekick partner in crime in this book for the case, which is so weird because now it's Connor kind of, and Ravi and Connor are both the brothers of the victims, so it's like Pip is really using the brothers of the victims. Also, obviously Ravi's still in the book. It's just Ravi is more bringing the point of view of the court hearing situation going on. So he's in it less, but he's still in it and he brings like an important point of view. I just like fully froze just now. Oh wait, also it's the same day I just changed. But I'm on chapter 19 and Pip found Lila's Instagram, which is like, and they used an account of Connor's so that the catfish wouldn't know who they were. And literally the first message was, hello Pip. First off, how did you know it was her? That's scary. Then the second message said, "You're getting closer," with a little smiley face. Okay, crazy, crazy. I'm so sick of my neighbor. I'm so sorry if you can hear him playing music. Sometimes I can edit it out, sometimes I can't because he's so loud. But I'm on page 222. And at this point, Pip is at Jamie/Connor's house, and Connor and his mom figured out that Jamie definitely came back to the house because he got one of his hoodies because it's missing, and one of the eyewitnesses like saw him in that hoodie. So basically they're like shocked that he came back to the house. But didn't we already figure that out when we saw the surveillance footage of Jamie taking the watch? Because hey, how could Pip have seen the watch in the house if he didn't take the watch and then go back to the house? Because I swear they were like, oh yeah, he definitely stole the watch from the house on the same night because now we have him at 12 o'clock at this random house. But you know what, maybe that didn't happen. Maybe I made that up. I don't know. I'm on page 247 and things are really not looking good for Jamie right now. As in D-E-A-D, dead. But hey, maybe that's just what Holly Jackson wants us to think right now, okay? Page 274, they just found a body. They haven't identified it yet, but the police say that it's a white male in his early 20s, which is exactly what Jamie is. So, could be him. Also, this book is kind of addicting, and I feel like I felt that way when I was reading the first one too. I like when a thriller/mystery feels addicting, because I feel like that's how it should feel, you know? I was really expecting it to be Jamie, but it wasn't. So, Nat's reaction and Pip and Nat's moment after hearing out the verdict literally made me so emotional. I feel like books and TV shows with kids in like high school age almost always have a scene where someone is getting something poured on top of them. Like Pip just poured Coke on top of Tom, and because of that, when I was younger, I always thought that this would actually be a problem that I would encounter. I always thought that like I would see someone pour something on top of someone's head, or I would get something poured on top of my head, because I swear it's in so much young adult like TV shows and books, so that when I was like in middle school, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a problem for me in high school. Yeah, it wasn't, obviously. I've never actually seen that happen to anyone, and I don't think that ever actually happens. I'm about to start chapter 33, and honestly, Pip's reaction to Max's sentencing is so valid. And reading that last chapter was kind of hard. Just found out that Jamie is Lila, but that doesn't even make sense to me. I think Luke might be confused there, because that doesn't make sense to me, but let me just keep reading, okay? I keep reading. You know what I think? I think Jamie was also there to meet Lila, but then the real Lila just like was not there. Like no one else was there, you know? And so Luke just assumed that Jamie was Lila, but I don't think he was Lila. Okay, this whole Child Brunswick thing kind of threw me for a loop here, because I'm surprised that they would put a kid in jail when the kid's parent like forced them to commit these crimes. Also, oh my gosh, Albie. But Pip just put together that Stanley is child whatever. I am on page 349 and I'm super close to finishing this book, so I'm just gonna sit down, have my little snacks, I'm gonna finish. Finished! I don't know if I like this one better or the first one better. I kind of think I like this one better because I like the ending better. It just felt more of a surprise to me for some reason, even though I didn't know how the first one would end. This one just felt like more of a shock. I also don't know if the case that they used in this book was the case in real life, because I feel like it is, but I could be wrong. Also, the way this book ended was pretty intense, and I feel like the next book is going to be very Pip character focused heavy. I don't know if that's right or not, because it also could be like Pip trying to find the guy that murdered Jack/Stanley. So I don't know, but there's definitely some things going on in Pip's head that she definitely needs some help with, and she's definitely experiencing some PTSD from that encounter based on how the book ended. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to start the third book today as well. I probably just won't get around to reading as much of it, but I'll read as much as I can. I don't know why, but opening this book and seeing that it says the final A Good Girl's Guide to Murder novel makes me wonder if Holly Jackson knew this whole time that it would be a trilogy, or if she just made it a trilogy because of how popular the book got. But anyways, I enjoyed that it was a trilogy. So basically, Max is suing Pip for damages because of her podcast that she told the world he was guilty and posted the audio file because he is guilty, right? What was I even saying? I can't remember exactly what I was going to say, but Pip is thinking to herself and she says, if there was to be blood on her hands, it should be his. And you know what's so valid? Like, Pip, I would not be mad at you if his blood was on your hands, just saying. It's the next day. It seems like much later because I am no longer at my apartment, but I'm on page 108, and honestly in the beginning it felt slow, but not like too slow because it was only the very beginning, which I always expect because we're kind of catching up from what happened in the last book and setting the scene for what's going to happen in this book. And in the part that I'm in right now, Pip just found an article about a killer that was basically using the exact same signs that she is getting because she's like being stalked. So like with the chalk drawings and the... actually I don't know what else. But you know what I'm talking about. I feel like I had more to say, but I guess that's it for right now. Oh, but actually, you know what does kind of like really irk me a little bit is the fact that the police don't believe her ever, and especially this time because I feel like this time they're kind of chalking it up to be like, oh, you just went through something really painful, like I don't know, they just never believe her. It's the next day. I'm on page 114. Also, this book is creepier than the first two. Like I was trying to read it in bed last night and I was like, I simply cannot read this right now, it's too scary. Not scary, scary is the wrong word, it's just a little creepy. Now on page 151, and I fully understand Pip not wanting to go to the police because of how they treated her last time, but if I was Ravi, I would be going to the police for Pip. I would say I don't care. Like I would not even tell Pip until after I did it because I would be way too worried about her safety. Literally her life is on the line here. I'm on page 165, and the fact that Pip remembered reading the initials HH in Andy's planner when she's seen it like once, and this was like months ago, that's wild. Like that's crazy. I don't think I know anyone that would be able to do that. I mean, I know she's not real, but she is real. Like, you know, when I'm reading it, Pip feels real. But anyway, she just talked to Harriet, who was the sister of someone that got killed by the DT killer. Let me tell you, things are not looking good for Daniel De Silva right now. And I say that because Pip just interviewed the detective that was on the case of the DT killer, and he was like, yeah, this police officer in Fairview was really interested in the case, like he was new. And Pip was like, oh, like it was Daniel, wasn't it? And he was like, I can't tell you that. She was like, but like it was him, right? Because he was like, it was a new police officer, and I think Daniel was like the most recent new one. I don't know. Oh my gosh, Pip was just kidnapped, and this is crazy. Also, this visual probably would have creeped me out if I was reading it at night. I can't handle anything like this at night. Okay, wait. I was actually wondering if Jason Bell was DT because I was like, there's two options really for who it can be based on what Andy said in her email. It is getting intense right now, guys. I'm on page 229. Pip has been duct taped around her whole head, and she found out that Jason killed her dog in the last book, and I just simply cannot believe that Pip is going to die. Like, I don't believe it at all. She has way too much plot armor around her for her to die in the middle of this book. Like, look, I still have a lot left in this book. I refuse to believe that she's going to die. Then I'm like, well, if she doesn't die, like, well, what's gonna happen? She's duct taped everywhere. My cat is eating dinner, so just ignore that background noise. But I'm on page 242, and I just got to the part where, you know, Pip was kidnapped, she was tied up by DT, and then she like got herself untied, and now she's trying to find a way out of the room because he locked all of the doors. And that part is so intense. I couldn't just sit down and read it because you can't really see right now, but I have no furniture in my room. My bed is literally on the ground. That's the only piece of furniture that I have right now. Other than my bookcase, of course. I had to like move all of my furniture out because whatever, it'll be explained in the next vlog, but basically I just had to keep putting my book down, and all I wanted to do was sit and read. So that was, hey, excuse me. That was upsetting. It was hard to go through that part and keep having to put it down, but I kid you not, all I could think about was like, oh my gosh, what is Pip gonna do? And now I cannot wait to finish this book, but I don't think I'm gonna get to finish it tonight, which is so upsetting. As soon as Pip started talking about like the circle of events and the police never believing her, I knew that she was going to kill him as soon as he came back. I knew it, and she did. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, what did you just do? Like, is she gonna go to jail? Also, I forgot to mention earlier, the whole like Ravi in her head thing is very concerning to me. She's basically talking to herself, but convincing herself that it's Ravi talking to her. I'm just concerned for her, basically. I should have known that Pip was going to frame the murder on Max Hastings. That's crazy. Is she gonna get away with this? I have absolutely no idea. Also, I know Pip needs help, but she literally just dragged Ravi into this. Like, if they get caught, Ravi would be charged like as an accomplice. Are you so for real? Pip has now dragged 3 more people into covering up her crime. Are you kidding? What gets me is that they don't even know what they're helping with. Like, they don't know that she killed Jamie and is trying to frame Max for it. They just know that she's trying to frame Max for something that happened. I'm on page 353. I feel like I'm plowing through the end of this book because it's just so, you know. But what I wanted to say is that Ravi is so Slay. Like, I'm a Ravi fan club now. Like, he is helping out Pip here when he really did not need to do that. And he's like cracking jokes, trying to lighten the mood, make her feel better. Like, if they don't get married, I don't believe in true love anymore. Because Ravi literally just proved that he would do absolutely anything for her. I'm on page 364, so Pip is already back home. They cleaned up the crime scene, all that fun stuff. But this whole time I was like, how is Pip going to get rid of all this stuff, like, and not have it traced back to her, right? Because in my head it was like, the only way that she could do this is throwing it away or like making it catch fire, like burning it. But she just cut it up in really small pieces so that she can flush it down the toilet. And I'm like, that is so ingenious, because no way that that can be traced back to her if she cuts it really small, because then it's like in the sewage system. No way. I wanted to get to a point in this book where I had some peace of mind before going to bed. And I thought, you know, page 400 would get me there. Like, I don't have that much left of the book. Nope, I was wrong. I was very wrong. They just found Pip's headphones outside of Jason's house, and I knew as soon as she lied, saying that she had no contact with him, I knew that that was going to be a problem, because she should have just said that she was at his house asking for a potential thing for her podcast. But no, she had to lie, and now she's caught red-handed. So no way we went through all of that just for Pip to admit that she did this. She hasn't admitted it yet, but she said that she's going to admit killing him. So Ravi will forever be the most slay person for going to Detective Hawkins and saying that he left his headphones at Jason's house to cover for Pip so that she didn't have to admit to killing him. Are you freaking kidding me right now? Ravi just did so much for Pip, just for Pip to break up with him. And I know she was doing it to try to protect him, but like, are you actually for real right now? Just finished As Good as Dead, but it is midnight, so we're gonna talk about it more in the morning. But I will say, Holly Jackson knows how to make me do this. I did that like 10 times during this book. I kid you not. Probably more than that. I was shocked so many times. It's the next morning. Let's talk about this book. This book was by far my favorite book of all three of them. And I feel like that's saying something, because I rated the other two 4 stars. This one I think might be a 5-star read, okay? I'm gonna put it out there. I think it might be. Because there's not many books that can make me stay up past midnight reading when I have to be up at 6 in the morning the next day. And this book did that for me. And literally, I swear Holly Jackson does this all the time. Just when I think I'm in the clear, like I'm good to go, things have calmed down, she's like, nope, just kidding, and then things get crazy again. But I love that. I love these books and her writing. My camera battery died, of course, but we're back. I was basically just saying how much I love Holly Jackson and these books. Like I said, this one was my favorite, but I'm obsessed with these characters. Also, I'm not reading it in this video, but I did borrow Killjoy from Libby. I don't know why when I bought the set of the series, Killjoy didn't come with it, but Killjoy is like the prequel, I guess, but it came out after all these books were published. So I'm definitely gonna read that one. It just won't be in this video, but if you're curious on my thoughts on that, it'll be in my wrap up at the end of the month. And if any of these ratings change, I will let you know, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna say how they are. Especially because I slept on my rating for As Good as Dead. Like, I read it last night and now it's the next morning. Anyways, I feel like I'm rambling. These were so good and I can't wait to read Holly Jackson's new release. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!